Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial I have some fun and super easy little Christmas tree ideas to share with you for ornaments that you can make for your Christmas tree, and you can totally personalize them to whatever your color or theme is. So we're going to start with one of my very favorites that I use all the time, which is canvas duck. You can get this at pretty much any craft store, and I always choose the thickest, most heavily, I guess it's starch of some sort, stiff, thick canvas that I can get. And this was one I was just dinking around with this morning to figure out what I could do with some of this trim that I bought at DollarTree. So I was just experimenting with this. But what we're going to do today is we're going to make some Christmas tree ornaments that have fabric that we have customized with stencils and ink. So the first one I'm going to show you has this. This is called Fleur de Lis, and I used red ink. And I did this several months ago. After I make a piece of fabric, I always hang on to it because come Valentine's Day, I'll do some cute little hearts. I'll have this one little piece left. And I put together this tree, which we'll stuff and finish together. But the one that is going to be for my tree is this. And oh my gosh, I wish you could see this close up because it is beautiful. This is called Folk Art Forest. And it has these awesome deer, bears, foxes. It has some adorable little mushrooms, and some bunnies. I don't think this is just a Christmas stencil. So we're going to be using that, but we could also use some of this, which this is the mosaic tile stencil. And I made these pieces for something I was working on about a month ago. So I just always hang on to those little bits and pieces because you can use them. Okay, so let me show you what I'm actually talking about and then we'll hop right in. This is the Fleur de Lis all over pattern stencil. If you love Fleur de Lis, you could use a piece of canvas and absolutely any color ink, whatever goes with your decor. To do this, this is my favorite. This is called Victorian Pattern. I use that all the time. This is, I think, my second favorite at this point. This is called Filigree Leaf. I've done a ton of t-shirt sleeves with that. This is really cute also for Christmas. It's fa la 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 la. Sorry. Here's the mosaic tile. And here is the folk art forest stencil, which I've used it quite a bit. Okay, so let me explain how this works. We're not going to actually do that because we're going to zip ahead to the next step. But basically what you would do is you would take your piece of canvas, and I ironed mine before I got started just so it would be nice and flat. And then I would take my stencil off the backing and lay it on the piece of fabric. Choose whatever color of ink I might want, whether it's black, red, green, purple, orange, white, silver, rose gold. There's a ton of different colors. And I would just push the ink through the holes on my stencil. And then you want to give it a couple of hours to dry. Okay? You can also go to the next step because this is ink, and heat set it with a hot iron if you would like to, but it's never going to get washed and it's not going to be handled very much. So you can probably get away with skipping that step if you want. Okay, so we are going to work with this piece right here. And the size of your little Christmas tree ornaments can be whatever you would like. I'm going to show you these. Let me grab my ruler. If you have a giant tree and a lot of the ornaments on your tree are big, then you want to take that into consideration. Daniela, I'll come right back and answer that question. Oh, you might want to make your trees or whatever ornaments you're making bigger, taller and wider. If I have a pencil tree, but then it is 9 feet, but so I'm not doing super big ornaments. This one, for example, is 7.5 inches long from here to here, and the widest is about 6 inches from here to here. This one is 5 3/4 long, and that doesn't include the little bottom, which I'll show you how to do that. And it is about not quite 5 inches at the bottom. And I don't have a pattern. I didn't make a pattern. Here's what I did. I cut a piece of canvas for the back. And I just cut it out. So this is what we're going to use next. And you can use 2 sides that have the stencil design on it if you would like, but you really don't have to. So, and I want to have some of this left over for other projects. So I'm not going to burn it all up on the back of a piece. Okay, and I just folded this in half and cut a tree, basically, which is just a triangle. But the reason why I want to fiddle with this is because I want to have this little deer with the antlers be the main part of this design. So I'm just looking to see where will it be. Okay, so I'm going to lay that on there. I'm going to take a couple of pins. Okay, Daniela was just asking me a question about some of her stencils that she has, which this is completely normal, just so you know, that are like my folk art force, which I've used quite a bit. Sometimes when you've used them a ton, they get so they don't stick to the backing very well. It's just what happens, but that doesn't mean it isn't still completely usable, because when you lay it down and press it on there, it's going to be stuck down sufficiently. And then when you put a little bit of medium on it, that sort of acts like a glue to keep it in place. I do not recommend using any of those adhesive sprays. I want to be able to use my stencils this year, next year, the year after, and the year after. And I'm just afraid that some of those adhesive sprays could clog up the holes in the mesh stencil. So, but these stencils can be used way more than what the company says. I think they say 20 to 25 times. I have some that I've used like more than 50. Let me see if I can find one to show you. They can get pretty cruddy looking. Oh, this is the perfect example. Can you even tell what design this is? It's called Mandela Lace. And it's stained and it's not super sticky. But as long as the holes in the mesh are not filled with whatever your medium was, this one looks like I've used a lot of blue and a lot of orange, probably ink on them. I think I did a lot for fall and Easter. That you can keep using them over and over and over. So you just want to wash them promptly, especially if you're using any kind of ink, and then lay them out to dry. Okay, so let's cut this out. And you can embellish these super easy little trees however you would like. If you have some rickrack, that would be cute. You could put a star on top of it if you would like. That pom-pom stuff that I got at DollarTree is pretty darn cute. And I'm not worried worrying about it being perfect because I can trim it after I glue it. So see, I have all this fabric that I've made, that custom fabric, and I'm going to cut the bottom off here. So you can embellish these with little pearls. We might use, well, we probably won't use that piece. Okay, so let's take this apart, flip that around, and that is going to be the back. Okay, when I was doing the first one, I like to experiment and actually do my crafts a couple of times before I try to show you because I learn a lot. And I don't know what the deal is, but I forgot to put the holder inside. Again, I seem to keep doing that all the time. So when I was gluing the next one together, which we'll finish, I did remember to put it inside. And you could use whatever you want to do, a piece of ribbon, a piece of lace, a piece of jute. I'm going to use some of this jute to be your hanger. And I'm going to just glue this on the back. This, I think, would be a really fun project to do with some of the little people in your life. And you can stencil them or not. You can use pom-poms. You can use little beads. You can use something like Eileen's tacky glue. You don't have to use a hot gluing device. But if you are going to use a hot gluing device, use a low temperature one, especially if you're doing it with little people. Okay, so I just glued that on the back. And then we'll start at the very top. I could do some of these little white pom-poms, but I think it'll be overly busy with that. So I think I'm going to hold off on that. And we're just going to do this one plain. I have 100 other pieces of custom fabric that I've made in my box. So I have tons of options. So I'm just going to put some glue out here towards the edge. Okay, and then let's glue the rest of this down. And go all the way to the bottom. And for these ones that are kind of have a lot going on, I want to show you how I'm going to make the bottom. But I did want to suggest, I got this lace crochet in white and in cream at DollarTree. They make a great bottom too, a great tree trunk. So let me glue this down. And I am going to have to trim because I didn't do a good job. You can see that. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I think one of the, whoops, I don't want to tear that one. I don't want to tear that one either. I think one of the best things that you can do for a tree trunk is just a piece of canvas duck that is folded in half. So, plus, I'm just trying to decide how tearing canvas duck is fun. So I just made a teeny little snip. I'm just gonna rip that puppy off. I'm gonna pull off the strings. And then I'll get my ruler and tell you what this is. I'm just kind of roughly folding it in half. This one is 5 inches from here to here, and it's about 3/4 of an inch wide. But you know, That is unimportant. And then I'm just going to glue. And I'm going to leave this open at the bottom, okay? So let's stick this in on the back piece. That's basically what that's going to look like. It would look cute with lace. You could do ribbon. There's so many options. Okay, so let me do one for this one. And then we're going to stuff these. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then that's going to be basically what we do on this video today. So I want to encourage you, if you have some of these all over pattern stencils, make some custom fabric. You just need ink, and it's the Magnolia permanent ink that I'm talking about. You don't ever want to use any kind of actual paint on your stencils because they have thousands of tiny holes on them. That's what the mesh is. It's like a silk screen, and paint dries really quick and it's permanent. So if you clog up all those thousands of little holes with paint that dried in it, just because you wanted to use some paint that was a little bit less expensive than using actual Magnolia permanent ink, your stencils won't last very long. And I want mine, I want to still be able to use them, even though they look crummy when they get way too many uses, if you know what I mean. Okay, so let's put this one in here. And on this one, you might notice that I made the top layer a little bit shorter because I decided after the fact that I wanted this fringe on the back. So I didn't cut that off. This one I am going to trim before we glue though because it looks messy. So tell me in the comments, especially if you're watching live, are you ready for Christmas? Is your house decorated the way you would want it to be decorated at this point in time? How about your shopping? How is that coming for you? Tell me in the comments. While I'm cutting, I'll just tell you. I feel completely good about the decor and stuff here. I'm feeling a little bit behind on the Christmas shopping, which I got lists from my two sons. Well, I got lists from my one son yesterday and from my daughter-in-law. And my oldest son promises he will send me some ideas today. So I'm doing an Amazon and online kind of Christmas, which is kind of lazy, but I'll wrap everything when it gets here. So I'm feeling a little behind in the present department, but I'm feeling pretty good in having the house all, dolled up for Christmas. Okay, this is the Polyfill that I prefer. I get it at Walmart, but I am sure you can buy it lots of other places. It's Polyfill Crafter's Choice, and it says it's ideal for doll making because it's kind of stiff, is what the deal is. So I'm just going to pop some of it in here, and I'm going to use my scissors to cram a little bit of that Polyfill up into the very top of our tree. Next year, Jean Martel, what is her last name? Von Ryan says that she had a party, so her house is decorated, and she has 10% of her shopping done, and she's been baking. Aw. Oh my goodness, Donetta Smock says that she made the mini stencils on brown craft paper. Love that. So she made her own wrapping paper this year. That's amazing. You get an A++ for going above and beyond. Okay, so I have it stuffed. I'm going to push that in there really good. I'm going to put a bead of glue here. Let me just warn you that if you're stuffing your stuffies, these are stuffy ornaments, with polyfill, if hot glue gets on it, it gets very hot. Very, very, very hot. So you want to be careful. Even low temperature hot glue, when it's on polyfill, it can get really hot. So look how cute these two would be together. And I could come back and put another row of pom-poms on the bottom, but I think this is plenty. So if your tree is turquoise or purple or whatever, black and cream, you can do these projects in your preferred style. Okay, let's stuff this one, and then I'll be pretty much finished with this craft. Let me know in the comments if you would like my complete supply list and a replay of this video. Maybe you stepped in here, you joined us late. So just let me know and I'll get that for you pronto. How full to fill these is totally a personal preference thing. Marlene says it's adorable. Oh, she's from Redmond, Oregon. Oh my goodness, Marlene, I don't know where Redmond, Oregon is, but my youngest son is living in Bend, Oregon. And oh my goodness, that is the cutest town ever. Ever. The only thing is that, wow, real estate is super expensive there. Super. Of course, I guess it is everywhere. But anyways, Oregon is such a beautiful state. Oh my goodness. It's really, really magnificent. The mountains and what is the tree template? I don't have a tree template. I just took a piece of canvas duck, folded it in half, and then I just cut like the shape of a triangle. And there was your tree. And just a few minutes ago, I measured the ones that I have here. So let me know. I don't remember at this point what they were, but let me know if you want the replay, and I'll get that for you. Okay, so this is simple. Needs to have some of the polyfill that's poked out, clipped off. It's super simple, and it could be dolled up some more if you wanted. But this will be beautiful on my tree, because my tree is all very neutral. And I love these, and I love this deer. I love all these little woodland creatures. This is such a cute stencil, which I think could be used all year long. I don't consider this to be a Christmas stencil. So let me show you what we did here real quick, and then I'm going to hop off and get you guys all the information. I'll go grab the replay. Do you use fabric glue? No. Pam, thank you so much for asking that question. These are never going to be washed. Ever, ever, ever. They're barely going to be touched. And the fabric glue for, like this one, the Surebonder, it's a little more expensive. So, and there's no need to use it. You really only need to use the special fabric glue when you're doing a project that might be washed and dried and handled a lot, like a t-shirt or a tote bag or a pillow or something, if you thought it might get washed. So there's that. And then here's this one. And these are both just made with fabric that I custom made using all over pattern stencils, a little bit of the Magnolia permanent ink, and some of this canvas duck. I mean, each one of these is probably pennies. And you could doll these up even more if you want. You could do them plain too, but I think they're just so cute with the all over patterns. So that is what I wanted to show you today, just to give you some ideas in case you're looking for something to do, or you're still working on your Christmas tree, or you're thinking about next year. I am thinking about next year, and I'm heavily leaning next year towards doing a cream Christmas tree in our family room with pops of red. I don't know, that's just really calling my name. Or pink and red. This was a project we did not too long ago, so let me know if you would like this information. I thought that was a super adorable craft. I loved it. These are stuffies, just like what we just did. And this is a stuffy ornament. So there's tons that you can do with canvas stick. Sally, I'll get you a link to my shop ASAP. Okie dokie. Well, you guys have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you later.